Hello, welcome to the second football preview of the year. Um, Yesterday we did Indiana, so today we're gonna do Michigan. Michigan is by far and away the favorites to win the Big Ten. Which, if you would have said that 3 years ago, probably wouldn't have gotten very many people to buy into that because Michigan was like unranked at the start of the year, got all the way up to like fifth in the country. Then they beat Ohio State like finally for the first time in like forever. They had finally beaten Ohio State, and then they went out the next year and went undefeated, and they beat Ohio State again in Columbus too. So, and then of course, in both those years where they went like undefeated throughout the year, they lost in the college football playoff. First time to Georgia, okay, Georgia powerhouse. Last year, kind of an embarrassing loss to TCU in the playoff. I mean, that was definitely, okay, TCU was really good, but Michigan just completely came out flat in that game, and TCU was running them from the start. Michigan did their damnedest to come back, but day late and a dollar short, they lost like 50-47 or something. But Michigan is definitely going to be favored to win the Big Ten this year because they have a lot of those same characters back. They have J.J. McCarthy. They have Blake Corum back, Donovan Edwards, who, as far as running backs go, Donovan Edwards might be better than Blake Corum. I'm not even kidding. Because Blake Corum, I think, got hurt in that Ohio State game, and Donovan Edwards completely just tore him apart. They got a lot of characters back. They should be ranked in the top five, I would assume, come playoff, come preseason poll time. How will they fare in their season? That's where we are to decide here. Okay, so these first three games, this is one thing I don't like about Michigan is they absolutely refuse to play anybody good out of conference. It's just really annoying. These three games really aren't even worth mentioning. East Carolina, UNLV, and Bowling Green, should all be easy wins. And I'll even throw Rutgers in that category. That also should be an easy win. I do think Michigan has a home and home coming up with Texas soon. Like either next year or the year after that, they have a home and home with Texas. So that'll be fun. But they still don't play anyone out of conference this year. So these aren't even really worth mentioning. At Nebraska could be interesting. The last time they played at Nebraska was this close to beating them. They got a new coach, but if this is a night game, I think it'll be dangerously close. If it's like a normal day game or like 2:30 kickoff, Michigan should win pretty easily. This is another game maybe they could have some trouble with, but I don't know. At Minnesota's usually decent, but I'm going to take Michigan there. My beloved Indiana Hoosiers, they'll probably beat them by 50 if I'm being honest. At Michigan State, not the same Michigan State team that had Kenneth Walker that was able to beat them at home. This iteration of Michigan State, I don't think will be very noteworthy at all. I think that should be a win. And Purdue, they beat the hell out of them in the Big Ten title last year, and Purdue will not be anywhere near that good this year. New coach, talent gone. Purdue will not be very good this year. So that puts them at 9-0, heading into, I think, their hardest game of the year at Penn State. This will most likely be Penn State's whiteout game because they reserve one game throughout the year to be their whiteout game. It'll probably be this one. Oh, it's an 11. Never mind, it's an 11 a.m. kick. That is stupid as hell. I forgot the Big Ten. You can't have a night kickoff in November. Screw the Big Ten. Okay, so I guess this won't be their whiteout game because it's at 11 a.m. How do they already have these times? Yeah, in this game always being at 11 a.m., that's stupid as hell. Anyway, still though, road game, Penn State. And they have new quarterback Drew Aller, who everyone is saying is the real deal. All right, everyone's saying that Drew Aller is the real deal and he is going to light things up, and I'm a believer in that. I mean, he came in against Indiana when Penn State was already beating him by 40 points, and he looked great, man. I'd be scared if I was a team having to play Penn State. I think they're going to be really good this year. I don't know. I feel like he might be better than J.J. McCarthy. I'm not even kidding. I'm not. I promise I'm not. I think this is going to be an absolute bloodbath of a game, like a 28-28 type game. I'm not going to bet against the home team. I'm going to take Penn State to win this one and saddle Michigan with their first loss. It's really hard for a team to go undefeated. That's why normally only like one team or two teams go undefeated. I know Michigan did it last year. It's really hard to go undefeated. Throughout all these predictions, I gotta try to find at least one loss for every team. And I think Michigan drops this one to Penn State. I think Penn State's a really good team, and I think they have the ability to beat them. At Maryland could be a trap game because they got the only game on their schedule that matters for Michigan fans at least. The next week against Ohio State, but ultimately I do think they win that. And then does Michigan beat Ohio State for 3 years in a row? Hadn't won since like 2008 or something, and they've won the last two. So do they get them 3 years in a row? It is a home game for Michigan. That's definitely an advantage. Ohio State definitely will not. Ohio State's got a lot to prove this year, I think, because I mean they've been second fiddle in the Big Ten 2 years in a row, and they're normally first fiddle, first everything in the Big Ten, and Michigan has taken that from them. It is their crown. So Ohio State has a lot of pressure. New quarterback coming in this year. I think Michigan's a better team, and they're at home. So I'm going to take Ohio State. Now, will this give them will this be enough to win the Big Ten East? I don't know. Because here's what I think very well could happen. The big three, Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State. I'm lumping Penn State into that category with those two. I think they'll be just as good as those two teams. What very well could happen is Michigan beats Ohio State, Ohio State beats Penn State beats Michigan. That would give all three teams one loss. I don't know. I see that as a possibility that could happen, but I think 11-1 for Michigan is fair. Okay, their ceiling is 12-0. They very well could go 12-0. Absolute floor, like worst case scenario, 8-4. Like, they could lose this game. They could lose these two games, I feel like, maybe. But that's like if they implode. I mean, we've seen teams implode before, especially a Michigan team. But I think 11-1 is more than fair. I feel like people might be crying that I didn't have them going 12-0, but I like this. I think this is a good record prediction. So, good luck, Michigan. And, yeah, let me know who you want to see tomorrow.